can I show you something? This was the first piece of Miku art I ever drew. This was months after watching her for the first time. That World Is Mine video still is rent-free in my head. And that would be one of many firsts. First Project DIVA game, first Miku concert, first time playing the arcade cabinet, you get the idea. This year, I got the chance to experience my biggest first as a Vocaloid fan. Magical Mirai. Okay, there might be a small number of viewers who may not know what Magical Mirai is. And man, you're missing out. It's essentially Miku's biggest festival that's held every year in Japan. Usually in Tokyo and Osaka, but has a third location that's different each year. It's massive compared to Miku Expos, which tours the West every 2 years. Now that I've briefly explained Magical Mirai, you might be wondering how I managed to attend. And the answer is quite a culture shock. See, we Westerners are familiar with the phrase, first come, first served. If you're early enough to purchase tickets for someone like Taylor Swift, then you got no problems getting the seats you want. If you aren't, good luck getting any affordable seats through secondhand. Now that I mention it, why did I bring up Taylor Swift as an example? Isn't she like so freaking expensive? The Japanese system works differently. Instead of relying on people being early to purchase, they use a raffle system. All you have to do is select the dates you want to go, pop in your card numbers, and wait till they draw the results. If you won, your seat is chosen at random, so you can get lucky and get the front rows or have to sit in the back where Miku looks like a tiny pixel. Now that may seem more luck-based than time-based, but it felt nice not having to get up super early to fight a crashing website of people doing the exact same thing. I only selected one day, which was the 29th of August, and I got in first time. A little bit of advice, try to reserve for more than one day, you'll have higher odds this way. And it's just for the concert portion. You can go to the booths, even on days you don't see the concert. And it's only 1,000 yen just to enter the venue, which is a really good deal for everything else. Alright, I think that should be the boring stuff sped up. Now we get to the meat of this video, the Magical Mirai experience. First off, let's talk about our travel to get there. And yes, I said our, cause my nephew also tagged along. Even though he didn't know anything about Vocaloid, like, at all. He thought this was Luca, when he played Iya Iya in the Project DIVA arcade in Akihabara, which had Luca. The disappointment I had as a Luca fan. We stayed at a hotel in Ginza, so we were up pretty early to get some breakfast at this incredible buffet within the hotel, ride a couple trains for almost 45 minutes, to walk about 15 to 20 minutes more, because the map on the official site took us to the wrong exhibit building. After looping around the whole square and looking at maps in the area, we made it inside, and nothing was more complimentary than walking right next to a row of beautiful bouquets. And after getting our wristbands, it was time to head down and finally experience Magical Mirai. The moment we entered the doors, I was immediately hyped. How hyped? I'll let the footage do its thing.
Oh, look at all this! Dude! This is so freaking cool! What?
I'm not exaggerating. The Vocaloid and Project DIVA parts of me jump for joy seeing everything in person. This was a life dream happening right before my eyes, and there was so much to see and do. Where do I even begin? The first thing I knew I had to do was spend my hard-earned cash on merch to remember this special occasion. And by that I mean a lower $200, but hey, it was absolutely worth it. Then we walked around the venue for many hours, seeing Meiko Dio, while I was in line for merch, grabbing some fun items that were both free and paid, had a nice drink and a donut. The donut wasn't good at all. Saw one of the official race cars, saw Miku's racing Crossworlds outfit, and even met the Hatsune Miku right next door. Would you look at that? More colorful stage content on the channel. Yippee! And speaking of meetings, I got to meet a few cool people while walking around. I came across Mama Meeks, who is well known on Twitter and Instagram for her massive Miku collection. I also found out that Rishi P, an amazing Vocaloid artist and tuner, was going to be there, but I had no luck encountering her. That would have been a cool full circle for this channel. There were also booths for Vocaloid artists, and all of them had their own merch and even gave autographs. I never heard of most of them or their music, but I had my eyes on two in particular, Haliasi and Pinocchio P. A lot of you know me from my Project DIVA content, and some might know that I've been a fan of these series since Mirai DX back in the 3DS days. Okay, it didn't technically start with the 3DS games, it actually started with the demo of Project DIVA F back when kiosks were a thing. And I've heard so many of their songs for those games. So of course, I had to get signed CDs from them and share my experiences listening to their songs from the games. even I accidentally made one of them feel old and accidentally overwhelmed another one with English. They were both homies though, and I got physical pieces from artists that named my favorite music games what they are. Eventually, we got exhausted from all the walking and just needed some place to sit. We decided that chairs while seeing a live panel was the best course of action. The panel was about a website building competition. I'm not gonna lie, that's all I remember on that. And while there were sadly no Mikudayo, I would come face to face with a legend much bigger than her. The founder of Vocaloid himself. That's right, I came face to face with Hiroyuki Ito. Without him, we wouldn't have Project DIVA. And I wouldn't be here making a video on Magical Mirai. I salute this man for all he's done for the community. And while I never got to meet him afterwards, I'm sure he's a swell guy to be around. Also, I wanted to wait until now to mention there was a convenience store in the building, and it had Pokemon cards. I had to get a couple packs. Before we knew it, it was time to experience the concert I'd waited my whole life to see. After walking from one building to another, luckily close together this time, we found our assigned seats, which weren't too bad. It was a good view of the stage and was pretty close to the center. Not exactly front row, but hey, the raffle did us good at the same time, especially with the people around us. There were these two girls in the row in front of us, and while we just enjoyed the show, there were some sweet moments afterwards. They gave me one of the gold confetti that was launched at the final song, even though I already had one. We then chatted, and they gave me a postcard with Luca on it when I mentioned liking her to them. Or maybe they heard me scream a bunch when Luca performed. And they were really big fans of Rin and Lin. Like, they had so many glow rings on their hands that had the twins' colors. That's dedication right there. Let's talk about the performance. While I'll be highlighting the parts that really stuck with me, this section will contain spoilers. If you haven't seen the livestream or want to be surprised yourself, then skip to this timestamp. But if you don't care about spoilers or have seen the concert in any format, this should be a fun throwback. This Magical Mirai was my first time hearing some of the newer songs, like Blessing, Mikaboshi, Fly Away, and Maga Maga. No Americans, that is not a political title. There were a couple I'd heard before Mirai, like Shoujo A, which was the only one my nephew heard and knew because TikTok, and Meteor, which hyped me up a lot. But it was surprising to hear so many songs I recognized from the games too. Hearing Stargazer, Peace and Mind Committee, Meteor, Out of the Gravity, Stardust Utopia, and Nice to Meet You Mr. Earthling live was mind-blowing. And hand in hand with all the Vocaloids, easily one of the best parts of the whole show. And I got so many flashbacks. And it only made sense to finish off the show with the Mirai theme, Lustrous, which was the perfect cherry on top of an amazing show. For some, that would have been the end to an incredible day. But we had one final stop in Tokyo, the Pokemon Cafe. Which we almost missed because my nephew decided to go back around like we did before, which made us arrive at the station later than expected, got on the wrong train so we had to switch trains at a different station, having to make 2 phone calls to tell the staff we were going to arrive about half an hour later, all of it was in a panic state because I had a map on my phone telling us the fastest route, and I got the reservation a month before and understandably did not want to miss out. But thankfully, we still got it despite all that. Oh my gosh, it took me so long to record that part! The show they had was cute, nothing spectacular, and the meals and drinks were good. I also had this cake, which was alright, but it was certainly better than the donut. Overall, Magical Mirai was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Not just as a Vocaloid fan, but in my whole life. This was a dream of mine after my first Miku Expo back in 2018, and hear creators talk about their experiences in past Magical Mirais. It felt surreal being in a crowd that really knows Vocaloid more than anyone else in the world. Oh yeah, never mentioned the crowds, did I? I've now been to concerts in the US and Japan, and the difference in crowd interactivity is night and day. Of course you know that concerts here are crazy fun, since people tend to sing along and the artists even encourage that. In Japan, not too many people sing along, but they love moving glow sticks to the rhythm, which I think is pretty neat. Personally, I really like how we do our concerts. It really makes the room feel more connected and makes the experience more inviting when others sing along and you start singing too. Plus, you're in a room with so many who are there to celebrate their favorite musician. Why not interact with them too? This isn't to say the Japanese way of concerts is bad or boring. I think there's positives to their own style too. It's just my preference. We all have our ways of enjoying the show. This was a better experience than Miku Expo 2018, which was the only other Miku concert I went to in person. And leagues better than Miku Expo 2021, 2024, and Rewind. I can still hear the lucky orb repeating in my head. Would I ever go back? Oh, absolutely. But probably not until 2027. I've been to Japan twice in a row, so I need a break from traveling. Plus, it'd be cool to see what they do for Miku's 20th anniversary. I've had so many firsts as a Vocaloid fan, and I'm glad I can finally add Magical Mirai to the list of the many firsts. But I have a feeling it's far from the last first. Hey y'all, so thank you for making it through the descriptive portion of the video. I wanted to do another segment of the whole Magical Mirai video, showing off the stuff that I got because I spent $250 on merch alone. But I'm also throwing in a couple freebies that I got as well. But I'm only highlighting the freebies that I thought were good enough or just brought back a little bit of memories looking back though, so it's gonna be a mix. So I'm gonna start with the paid stuff first because that's where the money came in, baby. Oh, jeez Louise, I thought I broke this. Good thing I didn't! This is the official Magical Mirai 2025 glow stick, and oh my goodness, I absolutely love the dark blue design of this. This is like the most gorgeous glow stick out of the two that I have. Even says Magical Mirai on the little label. Look how cute that is. This is the buttons. I believe it's the left one that turns it on. Or is it the right one? I think it's the right one that turns it on. Oh yeah, it's the right one that turns on. And then, if you want to switch between the colors, you actually can press left and it goes backwards. And forward is the right one, which is actually really cool. So there's Miku, there's, I believe that's Len. No, Ren is orange, and then Len is yellow, I remember that. Luca, the goated one, Kaito, or Meiko and Kaito. And then if you want to turn it off, I believe you push the left one. No, you still push the right one. Okay, and then it turns off. It's been a while since I last used this glow stick. Oh yeah, also I forgot to mention, this is also merch I got. This is the large mouse pad that they had. They actually have two options. I just went with the one with all the Vocaloids because we gotta give all the Vocaloids love, not just Miku. And unfortunately, Luca gets cornered to the left there. Poor girl. The other merch I'm gonna show off actually involves Luca, so Luca's gonna get a lot more love, which I'm okay with. Look at this. We got a Luca standee. I gotta say, Luca had the second best attire. Obviously, Miku, you know, had the best one, but Luca, it's kind of nice. She kind of looks like she's getting ready for like a summer, like kind of a beach day almost. But she has that kind of like former hair braid, which I really like. It's a good combo. Best design of Luca so far. Oh, speaking of Luca, these are on the backs. We got a Luca towel over here, which will be super nice because I'm doing fitness boxing featuring Hatsune Miku for another video that'll be coming out in 2026. I have one towel. This is a good towel for like sweat and stuff like that. Luca happy. This is still in the bag because I don't want to take out and stuff like that. But if I do ever take it out and wear it, I'll show the photo of the whole thing. Or I'm pretty sure there is a photo somewhere right now, somewhere in the video, not really sure where, that'll show off the whole happy itself. Look at that. It's a pretty happy. And you guys know how much I love collecting Pokemon cards, so I had to get some sleeves in there. These sleeves are absolutely gorgeous, and I've actually used a couple of these before even shooting this video because in the convenience store at Magical Mirai, they actually sell Pokemon cards. I got a Venusaur full art, not the secret art, so that's in one of these sleeves, and I did a stream where I pulled a bunch of cards, and those are in sleeves as well. They're really shiny. Like, look how gorgeous these are. Like, the Pokemon sleeves recently cannot compare to this. Like, oh my goodness, this one is really, really beautiful. And then same with this one. Like, the details in these are so nice and stuff like that. Like, I have not seen sleeves these beautiful in so long, and I've been to the Pokemon Center. These might be up there with the Pokemon Center sleeves. They also have like little gacha stuff you can get at the the booth itself. One of them was a pin, and the other one was this is a bookmark, I think. I don't know. It's like a little mini poster bookmark thing. But I got both of the Mikus. And honestly, out of these two, I really like this button the most. It's just such different artwork, and I really, really like it. But this one also gets a little bit of shout out for being really, really sparkly. You can't even see it. Oh, now you can. Look how shiny it is. Ooh, shiny cardboard. And there it is. It says Magical Mirai 2025. That is really reflective. Holy cow. And then this is not the last thing I got, but this is my favorite thing that I've had in my whole Miku and Pokemon collection. They had Project Voltage CDs. Hands down, my most wanted item ever since the announcement of Project Voltage. And they actually had these on sale at the booth. This was an immediate. This was an immediate one. Look at my boy Galarian Coco right next to Miku. Oh, I'm already giddying, and I haven't even opened it yet. I'm not sure if I want to keep this sealed or not. This is so cool, though. I love it. And of course, we gotta put it in an official bag. Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm gonna carry all that around with 2 hands. And then the other side has a cow. You love to see cows. And then I did buy a few other things outside of the big store booth, including this coffee mug, which actually was in the good smell department. I didn't get a figure. They didn't have too many figures I would want. This is actually really cool. This whole side here says Hatsune Miku. Not sure if you can see it well because of the lighting and stuff like that with this camera, but it's really cool. And then on the inside, you have Miku. And there's nothing else on the other side, just that side is actually really neat. It's smaller than I thought it was, but it could be good for something like a small cup of coffee or a small cup of tea in case I'm not really feeling anything large. That'll be larger, but sometimes a small cup of coffee is all you really need in life. Oh, I also have this. This is their gacha thing. They actually have two gacha machines, one for figures, one for posters. Unfortunately, did not have enough yen coins for the figure, so I just got the poster. I thought, hey, it's run by Bandai Namco, who Sega should contact for more Project DIVA games. They've revived Kirby Air Ride, they revived Pokemon Snap, they can revive Project DIVA. Sega, we need more Project DIVA! And on the inside, we got Miku. As per usual. This is actually really nice though. I'm gonna zoom in on this real quick. Like, there's not a lot of details other than it's like really clear and stuff like that. Actually, I can take it out of the thing and you can see how clear it is. You can still see my same finger, but it's kind of blurry in some areas. But it's a neat little thing. Oh, it's actually a lot more clearer now. That is way clearer than I thought it was gonna be. And then for the last of the stuff that I bought before we move on to the free stuff, I got signed CDs. So they had little venues where you can meet and greet with some of the Vocaloid producers. And two that really caught my eyes during the Tokyo session was Haliasi and Pinocchio P. Oh, I forgot to throw this in there, but Haliasi, if you met him, you actually got a free sticker. But if you wanted either one of them to autograph CDs, they were available for purchase. And if you purchased it, you had to go back to the line in order for them to actually sign your CD. Which for Haliasi was kind of a pain since I had to open the whole thing anyways in order for him to sign just the cover or the paper, not the whole cover. But Pinocchio was actually very smart because if you look right here, there's still a little bit of plastic seal in there, but that's because this paper thing was never covered in plastic. The only plastic that they used for this was like a little plastic bag with the sealed flap, so all I had to do was open the flap, and Pinocchio P was able to sign this. Haliasi, I'm sorry, my guy, but I think Pinocchio P beat you in accessible ways of signing. But I stuck with these two because I played a lot of Project DIVA. Y'all know me for my Project DIVA content, so it feels nice to have sort of gaming merch. But at the same time, just two of my favorite artists overall were there, and I just love every single moment of it. And one of them got me a free sticker. And I was able to speak to them about, you know, Project DIVA stuff, and they were very happy. Although one of them had to suffer with a lot of my English, Pinocchio P, sumimasen. And then as far as freebies, there really isn't a whole lot, which this segment is going to go by really quickly here. But here's the official, I don't know what this is. It looks like it's a fan because there's a hole in there. And you're meant to hold it and like wave it around, stuff like that. And it's also one of those that you were supposed to color in, but I never really colored it in, stuff like that. I kept it as it is. Could be more valuable if it's not colored in or anything like that, but this is actually really cute. And then on the back side, it shows you stuff you could buy, including sleeves. They actually had like 2 sets of sleeves. I just ended up getting this one that had much nicer art. This art was actually really cool, but this one was so much nicer. And then I don't know what this is, like more fans, I'm guessing. I'm not sure, but they have a Luca one. That's neat.
Dude, I almost forgot to show off the first merch I got when I entered Magical Mirai was this rubber keychain. They handed it out as soon as you got your wristband. I don't know where that's gonna be in the showing of all the merch segment of the video, but yeah. I'm surprised it didn't show this off first.
And just in case me showing off the whole concert venue wasn't enough, confetti! More evidence I was actually at the concert! Yeah, this is during the encore, actually, that they threw all this out, which is actually really cool. And I actually have 2 pieces of confetti here. One of them I picked up during the performance, but then after the performance, the people that were right in front of us, there were 2 girls, they were actually really nice, and they gave me, like, the one of theirs that they got, even though I already had one. They insisted I got it anyways, and they were really nice. And then we talked a bit, and they asked me if Luca was my favorite, and I said, heck yes. And they just gave me this. They were so nice. Absolutely love the details on Luca, by the way. That makeup, that chef's kiss right there. The design is simplistic. We love simplicity. I almost forgot to show these off. These were also freebies that they had in there. These are just the fans. If you show that you're following, I believe, Miku Magical S Paint on Twitter, you got a fan. And I initially thought that each fan had a different design, but it turns out they both had the same designs, and I accidentally got 2 of them because of it. I mean, I did use one of them, like outside of the venue, so that's cool. And then the final thing they handed us after the concert was this actually really cool little poster thing, which looks like the Magical Mirai thing, but on the back shows you information about the Blu-ray that'll be coming out on February 4th. I'm probably actually going to get this, but yeah, there's a little QR code about the whole Blu-ray. I don't know if it'll be shipping internationally, and I'm not sure if this is going to be covering all of the Magical Mirais that happened in 2025. They had one in Osaka, but I believe this one is specifically for Tokyo. I'll have to look it up in a translator or something like that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says. But with that, that is everything I got at Magical Mirai, both paid for, actually a vast majority of it was paid for, and then some free stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this whole video. It took a while for me. Hopefully everything I showed you, both in descriptive format and this format, showed you all the experiences I have with Magical Mirai. Seriously, the best thing I've ever went to as a Vocaloid fan. Thank you all for watching. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe so that you get notified, and there might be a video in the top right corner, or there might be videos you guys can check out the outro. I'm not sure, but speaking of outros, I will see you guys in a future video. Take care, everyone. Why did I slide my finger like that? I mean, that was a cool transition. Speaking of, that's gonna happen now, right? Right?